fraud. I take it all back. My YouTube video from 2 years ago still plays. You suck. Saints rule. 38-3.
Flynn's not coming in on Wednesday. Stop that.
Let's go. Nick Underhill, what's up, dude?
Oh, hey.
You all right, man?
Hey,
Yeah,
Hey.
I'm happy, man.
Hey.
The little Project X got me fired up. Also, watching Mara have an anxiety attack as we waited to see whether or not that song was censored was worth the price of admission here in studio. We're
good.
talking to Nick Underhill at Nick_Underhill on football or on Twitter. New Orleans.football is the site. Nick's got his film review up right now with clips. It is fantastic. It's amazing. Nick, there's a ton of places we could start, but let's just start here. 38-3. What the hell, dude? That was about a perfect game. What was your kind of number one takeaway with a bullet?
I mean, the whole thing was just unbelievable. I couldn't believe they went out and they executed like that. Man, just picking one takeaway is really difficult. I think, putting Jameis aside, the big thing for me that was really one of the most impressive things is just how quickly they got up to speed on defense this year. And I think that's been an issue almost every single year is the slow starts on defense. Week 3 they played the Packers last year, and we were talking about how they couldn't just execute basic cover 3, and their cover 4 was blown. Like they couldn't just do basic things. Communication wasn't there, and it took them a little while to get there. And once they got there, it got going. I don't know that since I started covering this team in 2014 that I've seen the defense of Week 1 gelled, ready to go, and just take off right away. So for them to be starting at that point, and you start getting pieces back, and Paulson Adebo, I mean, if he keeps playing like he's playing, I don't really know how you put him on the bench. I mean, for that performance for a rookie at cornerback against this team, I mean, that was extremely impressive. Lattimore didn't even play like that in his debut. It took him a few weeks to get there. And I'm not saying that Adebo's Lattimore, but I just think he's starting at a really high point. Now you got Bradley Roby coming. I think this team could keep getting better, and that's kind of crazy to say because this performance was so good. But even within this dominant performance, there's things that you see that they could get better at. So it wasn't like they played a perfect game. They just kind of outwilled the Packers, and I think this really talented defense started off at a really high point. And man, the game was just, again, it was unbelievable. It's just kind of even hard to put it in the context 2 days later because, I kind of thought they were going to go there. And if you told me that there was a 35-point deficit, I would have guessed that the Saints were on the wrong end of it, especially with the stuff going on with Lattimore coming into the game. I mean, and for them to go out there and just really, they bullied them in all aspects of the game.
They did bully them. Nick, I want to ask you about a tweet that you had, though, upon your film review, and it's in the article as well. But that is the impact of Marcus Williams. Like, it's easy to see on the pick itself. That was an incredible play. The ability to just catch that ball, like the hands displayed, the vision on the return, really strong all around. But what impact, and look, Marshawn Lattimore just got paid. He's playing under the tag right now. Williams is. What impact, how far-reaching was Williams' impact on Sunday?
It was, on a ton of plays, not even just that interception. And that interception is about as good of a play as you'll see a safety make. I mean, he's on the opposite side of the field. He spots the throw, intercepts it 45 yards down the field on the opposite side of the field. Just the read, react, recognition, speed. I mean, it was elite level stuff. And, he really is that type of player. And it's unfortunate that he's kind of spent his whole career kind of being discussed through the prism of one failed play, and that kind of impacts how everybody views him and sees his impact on the team. But, I mean, he does elite stuff consistently. And, there's plays where you'll see him on the TV and he'll be the guy chasing, and it's because he's making plays like on that interception where he's covering the whole field, and his range is putting him in position to be places that a lot of people can't get. It's kind of like in baseball, a shortstop has the range to make a play on the other side of second base in the hole, but, he gets his glove on it and bobbles it. It's an error, but, like, he probably shouldn't have been there anyhow, and you got to put that error in context. And that's kind of, some of the stuff you see with Williams. If you actually watch, like, the full field view, these plays on TV where sometimes it looks like he's in a bad spot or not making a play, like, no, he's where he should be. And, he impacted a ton of plays. I mean, there were at least 2 or 3 outside of the interception where just his coverage, he makes Rodgers look off and go somewhere else with the ball. I mean, he deserves that tag. And honestly, like, I thought he was the guy that they should have tried to pay, maybe first or second out of all these people that were up this offseason. You know, I don't know how they're going to afford him. That's going to be tough. I mean, I think it's something that they should try to figure out. And this team typically finds a way to keep players that they want to keep, and they won't let the cap, you know, force them into a decision. But I think his value to the team is that great, and I think he'll be really hard to replace if he gets out of here.
Nick, one of the things that gave the Saints trouble last year were really good tight ends. I mean, we all remember the Raiders game, and I thought the Packers had a really nice matchup. Robert Tonyan, someone who caught 12 touchdown passes a year ago. I realize he's not the most explosive player, but he's a really good tight end, and Aaron Rodgers, one of his favorite targets. You hold him to 2 catches for 8 yards. As you broke down the film, what were they doing extremely well to shut down a guy like Robert Tonyan?
I think you saw the speed of the linebackers really show up, especially on those bootlegs. They tried to run them a handful of times, and they did get one off. Bond kind of got caught up watching the backfield, got pulled by the handoff, the fake handoff. Then they ran it again, and Bond played it right, and you know he was out there on the play where Rodgers got sacked. Actually, Bond covered a bootleg into the flat, and he kind of had to eat it, and they got the sack. So I mean that was a major change. You saw it last year. I mean that was kind of the key for the Las Vegas. They set it up with Waller, and they ran a lot of those. And then the Packers kind of saw that and just amplified it. And it seemed like they ran 35 of them against the Saints, and they couldn't cover any of them. But I think the speed of the defense overall, I mean, that was one of the other big takeaways is just how quickly they were able to cover the field, just everybody knowing what they were supposed to do so that they're just reacting really quickly. Then you got good athletes, and it just kind of just – you know, snowballed and went hand in hand. And it's something that I heard from the coaching staff too, is that the linebackers in particular kind of affected the quarterback evaluation between Taysom and Jameis throughout the offseason, just because they were blowing things up and just kind of being everywhere, and it made things hard to operate. And I think you saw that again in this game. I mean, there just weren't really any easy passes. It was hard to check down. So, I mean, I think those guys are going to be, you know, it's crazy to say about the Saints because they really have never had good linebackers. I mean, it's been a long time since Vilma's been here. But, I mean, I think those linebackers are going to kind of be part of the identity of the defense this year, and that's, you know, a major change for this team. But the depth there is really good. I mean, Pete Werner, he didn't even play a snap on defense, and he's someone that probably could be on the field for a lot of teams right now. So, you know, I think that's something to be excited about for this team after years of, like, really striking out. And, you know, Stephon Anthony, A.J. Klein was a decent pickup, but he's not a game changer. I mean, they've been looking for those players for a while, and now they got a bunch of them. And man, Quan, just like his ability to cover, like they didn't hide him or anything. Like they had him manned up on Devontae Adams coming out of the slot like early in the game, and he covered him. Like his ability to move 230 some days after having the Achilles surgery is unbelievable. You know, I still think there's things that he does in the run game that are, you know, a little iffy. He missed the tackle, but you know, his speed and range in the passing game, I mean, it's a game changer. And if he can stay healthy, I mean, he's gonna make a major impact this year. I think he's probably gonna play better than last year. He knows what he's doing now. So, I mean, for that group, I mean, everything just seems to be coming together really well.
New Orleans Football is a site. Trust me, you will not find a better film, watch, game recap article than what's up there right now. Go ahead and sign up, support Nick directly. Nick, okay, Jameis Winston. I mean, what did the film show?
Oh, man. Like, I don't want to get too high on Jameis off of one game. I mean, it's something that he has to keep doing every single week. That, you know, that was probably the best sub 150-yard passing performance in NFL history. Like, honestly, like, I don't know. Like, 150 yards, 5 touchdowns. He did basically everything right. I mean, even the play on the interception that you know, kind of it got called back for roughing the passer. I mean, that's a throw that you make. You got the cornerback with his head turned around. He's, you know, usually you get a DPI on that play. I was surprised it was roughing the passer and not DPI. I mean, he could have aimed it a little higher. It hit the cornerback in the, you know, in the shoulder. You probably want that ball at the back of the head, so aim it a little higher. But overall, like, I thought everything he did was really good. I mean, he got the ball out quickly. He threw it away when he needed to throw it away, got through his progressions. I mean, you know, in the play where he threw it away, Peyton talked about this yesterday, and I mean, you go back and watch it. I mean, he wanted to go down the field with it, took a beat, saw the safety, saw Taysom wasn't quite in position where he needed to be. 7 seconds throws it away. I mean, those are plays that I don't think that you saw Jameis make in Tampa Bay before. And the other, the other thing with him too is I think his scrambling ability was something that was really a game changer early on, and they didn't really know how to react to it. And it's kind of crazy because those decisions he was making are the ones that we waited all last year when Taysom was starting to make. Like, Jameis was doing the things that you wanted Taysom to do. Nothing's there. Okay, tuck and run and go. You know, my only beef with him on those is that he wasn't sliding and he was taking hits. And it's like, you know, you're probably the first or second most important person on the team now. Like, don't turn your back and take a hit in the back trying to fight for the first down. Just protect yourself a little better. But, you know, outside of a couple ball placement things, you know, the second touchdown to Juwan Johnson was obviously like way high, and Johnson kind of bailed him out on that by making an incredible catch when, you know, nobody was there in coverage. But, you know, if he can do that and kind of be a game manager and then make plays when he needs to make plays, and, you know, if he can be that player for them with this defense, I mean, that's a combination that works. And I think we see that Jameis can go out there and make, you know, big throws and maybe lead them in some situations where he needs to. But if he's in a system that just kind of lets him play safe, and, you know, they set up a lot of levels concepts, and it was allowing him to make quick reads, get the ball out, not have to do too much, and it simplified things. And, you know, I think that's the system that he's needed to play in. And, you know, the other thing that really stood out about him too was his pocket presence. I mean, he made a lot of throws with guys in his face. Like, he got pressured on 7 of 23 dropbacks, which is actually probably too many. And I think the offensive line could have been a little bit better in this game, despite dominating. Like, there were some things that got through, but, you know, his ability to move in the pocket just to buy himself a little bit more time, those things really stood out. You know, overall, I mean, I don't think you could have pictured a better start for him. And I mean, it's a continuation of what we saw in the preseason. So there's a little bit of validation there. You know, I think we'll find out a little bit more about him when he's in adverse situations, when he's feeling the pressure of bringing the team back. Like, does he still keep making these good decisions? That's what we don't quite know yet. But when things are clean for him, I mean, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. He's, you know, he talked about being decision-based, not result-based, and you see that all showing up over and over. Yeah. So if he can keep doing that, I mean, man, it's encouraging to see where he's at right now.
Look, yeah, I agree, right? Like, I don't know where it's going to go from here, but it could not have been better than what it was in week one. Passed that first test perfectly. Nick Underhill, at Nick_Underhill, New Orleans football site. Again, sign up for the best Saints coverage. Every Tuesday we break it down with Nick. Nick, thanks so much, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, take it easy. Look at Stephen A. Saints, number 2 of Stephen A.'s top 5. We got to go to break. We'll be back to close the show.